Hey everyone, just wanted to do a little update on my Blue Dream shrimp tank. Everyone's doing really well in here. My Java moss is starting to take root and take over, so that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if my Java tree forest really worked out. I think I needed to put a few more trees in here to get the effect, and then maybe put like a background. But the shrimp sure seem to love it, and they dig down in the Java moss, and they've been having babies. The one in the back there, I can't, it's already going back down into the Java moss, but the one in the back there is a newer shrimp. And the tiny babies, I have seen a few, I've seen about 3 or 4 at this point, are buried in this Java moss somewhere. So when I kind of stir things around in the tank, I'm able to see them. So that's kind of the pros and cons of a setup like this. I like to be able to see the shrimp, so you know, for me it's not ideal because I can't see them, but they really like it and are thriving, so that's what matters. And eventually I'm hoping they'll get so out of control and so explosive in here that I can start selling some of them. I'm also gonna have to do like what I'm doing with my cherry shrimp, and really I mean I kinda wanna separate my cherry shrimp because I have so many different grades, I feel like, in there. So I have like the lower grade and then like mid grade and higher grade. I think I just made mid grade up. Mid. But you know what I'm saying. So I have like the really beautiful solid red cherry shrimp, and I don't want them to breed with a lesser lower grade because then eventually I'll end up with wild type, and those are the ones that are like the almost ghost looking shrimp with maybe like a tiny bit of red. They're clear, they don't have like any color, they end up turning like a brownish. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. And with shrimp you kind of have to be selective, and unfortunately some people do cull the lower grade shrimp. I try and just feed mine to the turtles, since turtles love shrimp. It's like one of their favorite treats. So the lower grade cherries I've been feeding off to Bubbles, and then some of the other ones that aren't like amazing I just throw in the frog tank and to clean up in there because they're great little cleaners or scavengers. I think that they actually help like stimulate plant growth. That's my own observation. I don't know if there's any scientific research or evidence to support that, but I feel like since I've had the shrimp in with the Java moss, because they like are constantly going around and using their little grabbers like that to clean up the plants, I feel like the plant grows so much better. And I don't know if that's just because they're taking off like algae and now the plant is getting more light and able to go through that photosynthesis process better, or what it is exactly. But shrimp, I think I'll always have shrimp in my tanks now. So yeah, you guys can see I have some different grades in here. I have this one that's a little bit lighter. I have that one in the back that's the beautiful dark blue. It's almost like an indigo. And I heard that the solid blue like that can be considered blue diamond. But like, look at this one. This one's a little bit lighter, and then it has like a darker saddle area, but the coloration is still present on the legs. So I'm not sure. I'm still learning all about like different grades and different strands because there's a lot to learn about this hobby, and shrimp keeping is a whole thing. There's a lot of contradicting discussion about like what constitutes each grade and what constitutes like each. I don't think so much the grade, but the different strands. Like you'll have some people that just make up their own strands and their own colors, which might not be like accurate, but it's hard to know like what exactly like is correct when it comes to the different strands. Like obviously for me, I think the more colored, more pigmented shrimp that you have, the higher grade they become. So like if they are pretty solid color, pretty vibrant throughout their body, but their legs don't really have a lot of color, that's what I would consider like a mid-grade, middle of the road type of shrimp. If they're pretty clear but they still have some color, like you can still tell it's a blue shrimp, I would say that's a lower grade shrimp. If it's solid, like that indigo one, is that the one over here? Kind of like this one, I would say that's higher grade. So, I don't know. Definitely doing more research on that. If you guys know or have any insight, let me know. I have kind of put things on hold as far as selling my shrimp because I'm trying to get my cherries a little bit more sorted because I'm starting to, the grades are mixing and I'm starting to see a lot more wild type color because I haven't been as selective as I should be. So I kind of put the shrimp sales on hold, and my Java moss, I want it to get really out of control again so that I have enough to give away. But that's kind of where I'm at. I do have a neon in here because I have like a bunch of little swimming things in here. Someone in the comments said that it was seed shrimp, which like I looked up seed shrimp and I feel like it could potentially be that. I don't know enough about, like, the pictures that I saw, they looked a little bit brownish, and I don't know if that was because it was super blown up like with a microscope and that's why it looked like that, or if that's really how they look, because the ones that I see in my tank are so tiny, but you can still see them swimming around, and it almost looks like they have a tail, so I'm thinking it could be like the Cyclops or something like that. It's not Daphnia because those are more round and they don't have like that tail. But anyway, the neon tetra really likes them, and those things kind of they can get out of control, I've noticed. I wonder if I can find one over here. They're usually like near the bottom. Well, they're all over, but I can usually see. Oh, there's one. I don't know if you guys could see that. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. See that little thing swimming around? So yeah, somebody said they're seed shrimp. They could be seed shrimp. They could be seed shrimp, or they could be like Cyclops, or they could be something else entirely. I don't think they're parasitic. It doesn't seem like anyone is really affected by them, and the neons and guppies love to eat them. So I put the neon in here so that it could keep the population of those down a little bit and controlled. Look at this guy climbing the tree.
I could add a suggestion about the little things. So you know how we've been seeing this neon right here with its chin or whatever, with its lip? Maybe that could be the reason, because all the fish are eating those things. Maybe that could be the reason that its chin looks like that.
I think that's something else entirely, because so I think that my neon either has, and I've speculated this a while ago. My neons I got from Petco, and as you all know, the big box pet stores don't keep their fish in the best conditions. But I really wanted neons, and neons are one of the most overbred, popular fish to keep in the hobby. And unfortunately, because of that, like so many little fish that are sold in the big chain pet stores and other animals, because they're mass produced and overbred, they don't have the best genetics, and they're susceptible to different illness. And I've thought that they had like neon tetra disease, and I still think that they might have that. I'm not sure. I don't have any other fish that would be affected because I only have the neon tetras, and I think other tetras can get it. It can spread, but they have to be only to certain types of fish. So tetras, I think Rasboras, I think guppies maybe. I'm not sure about that. Could be wrong. But I don't have, like, Corydoras aren't susceptible to it. One of the things that I noticed on this one is that it has a growth on its lip. You can see that. And I don't know if it's a cyst or a tumor, or if it's part of like neon tetra disease. That one has that, and then one of my other tetras in the cherry shrimp tank has that. So I've just kind of been keeping an eye on it. And before, when I thought that they had neon tetra disease, I took all of them out and put them in individual little quarantine containers so that I could observe them. And I did treatments. I did aquarium salt treatment. I did, what's that blue stuff?
Like, what do you mean?
The methylene blue treatment. So I tried to get one for basically everything. I tried to do a parasitic treatment. I used Prazipro. I love Prazipro. And then I used, not all at once, I alternated. So I kept them in there for a little bit doing like the aquarium salt. And then I kept them in there and switched over to the methylene blue and then Prazipro. So if it was something fungal, it would hopefully resolve that. If it was something parasitic, it would hopefully resolve that. But if it's neon tetra disease, unfortunately, I could do all those things and it wouldn't touch that, because that's, I don't know, that's just part of that disease. It's incurable, I think, or no one's really found a cure for it. So I'm kind of thinking it might be that still. If it is fungal though, which it also could be fungal, those are really, fungal things are really tough to get rid of. It takes a long time. So I don't know, I might have to go back to trying to treat it as like a fungal thing. But the shrimp are not affected. Corydoras are not affected. Snails are not affected. Just the tetras. And I don't want to cull them or anything because they're eating, they're swimming normal. And I just kind of want to let them be. I'm definitely not going to get any new fish right now because I don't want to introduce anything to, like, if they do have something, I don't want to spread that, obviously, especially since I don't know exactly what it is. And that's another reason why I kind of put my sales on hold too, because if I do have something going on, I just want to make sure it's controlled, even though it does seem like it's isolated to the tetras. Alright, anyway, did that make sense?
I was watching another video of yours.
Oh yeah, that one was about Molly, right?
Yeah, poor Molly. Rest in peace, little guinea.
I know, that was sad.
Rest in peace.
So, if you guys have any input as to what you think is going on with my tetras, I'm sure a lot of you have kept tetras. Neons are so popular. I really love the look of them. I think in the future what I'll do is actually get from like either a local breeder that is experienced and actually cares for the health of them, so that I can get some really healthy, good
Dang, you're really just calling out
genes.
Petco like that.
I mean, unfortunately, when I first started to keep shrimp, I got the first batch from Petco, and they sold me a mono shrimp, but I think none of them were a mono shrimp. I think they were all
And
wild type Neos, and they were expensive, and they all died like
and
immediately.
honestly, I can see why you're kind of calling out Petco for that, because I don't like the way they keep their geckos and
They've
either.
they've made improvements with some of the animals. Like at least now they
I
give.
don't like the way they keep their hamsters and birds still. I know it's just temporary, but they usually just get sent off to another place after that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like,
that's why it's best to just like get from a local breeder
yeah.
or a local pet shop, because usually the fish are cared for better and the animals are cared for. But that's all. If you guys have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment, suggestions on different treatments for the neons.
Can I have the
So yeah, that's it. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate it. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.
no? Can I have